Okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be sewing these panels together. So this is my right side, this is my right side, and this is my right side. So I'm going to flip my right sides together, and I'm going to start pinning these two together. And now there's going to be, basically at the 3/8 of an inch over here, that's where you're going to be sewing. So that's where they overlap. So don't worry about matching the edges together. So I pin that first one, and then I pin the bottom one. Same thing right here, where that 3/8 of an inch is, I need those to touch. And then I'm just going to go in and pin around my curve. I'm going to just do a little bit from the bottom and a little bit from the top. And the reason I'm doing this is because we have a concave and a convex curve that we are putting together, and so we need to evenly walk them to make sure that they're actually going to fit right. So at this point you can kind of see where it's going to sit evenly, and then I'll throw a pin right there in the middle. And once you have it in here, there should be no easing. They should fit right together. You know, and you should be able to pin it right at that 3/8 because that's where you'll be sewing. So there we go. At most, they could vary. Let's say they might not be a perfect match, but at most they would be about a 1/16 of an inch off. It was a little bit difficult to get them 100% perfect for all 143 sizes. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm flipping it this way. So we got our right sides together. Remember, we're starting with that overlap. And I do my bottom. And if you're an excellent sewer, you don't necessarily need to pin because you can see they do walk together, but I still will pin. When I don't pin, one of my sides is usually going to be off by about 1/4 of an inch. And I think my daughter would like to say something, so do you want to say hi? Say hi.
No.
No, no noises. You can say hi. Do you like to sew?
Yeah.
You do? What's your favorite thing to sew?
A teddy bear.
A teddy bear? Well, this is not a teddy bear. We'll make a teddy bear.
But you know, I'm trying to make a teddy bear with a hat on.
So you can at least see we've got the princess seams together. You can actually, at this point, sew this. If you would like, you could actually go ahead and pin your back on as well. Just be careful that you don't sew more than one layer at a time.
No.
Okay, making sure my right side is facing my right side, which this is my right side.
No.
So all the right sides are together. And then we're doing the same thing here. We got that overlap on this side. Okay. And then you are ready to sew. You will need either an overlock machine to sew these seams, or you can use your zigzag stitch. Either way, it should be a stitch that allows for stretch. Okay, so we pinned everything together. Having all these pins in here just makes for things to get a little bit complicated, so I like to sew my straight things first. So I'm going to go ahead and just sew the side, get my blade up. I'm cutting off my 1/8 of an inch, and I'm sewing in black so you can actually see. Plus I just didn't want to change the thread. Needle up.
cutting.
Yes, I am cutting. Okay, now I've got my curves. So it's really careful. You got to make sure that you're not going to cut anything off, or not cut folded fabric from underneath. So just make sure it's just your fabric that's going through. Don't sew over your pins. You can use your pin to help guide it. And I almost cut that head off. Okay.
And now you
One of the seams is done. I'm going to go sew the other seam.
The other seam now?
Yep, got the other seam now. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick look at it. So far,
Oh,
so
that's
good.
what one looks like.
You're also going to complete the sewing of the lining, which is identical to this. So that can be done on your own, and then the next step we will continue. So I've completed both the lining and the shell, and we're going to prep it to put on our elastic. So we're going to put our wrong sides together, and I want my black one to be on the outside when I'm finished. So we're going to turn the purple one inside out. It's because we're going to be attaching the elastic to the black side. So put this inside. I know it looks a little confusing in a second. Just want to get them roughly inside each other like that. There we go. And then, so make sure that all right sides are showing. And this will give us a clean finish all the way around. So I like to start at my seams. And when you're doing your seams, flip your seam. So you have one of, let's say, the shell going in one direction and one of the lining going in the opposite direction. Now, a step that I did not do, and I don't have any instructions, and you're welcome to do it, is you can actually top stitch this seam down if you like. What I like to do is I'll do this later. I'm not going to top stitch it, but I'll iron it later. What I want to do is I want to make sure that my seams are both in the same direction. So if my seam's in that side, it's on this side. So my seams are facing my side seam on the self. That means on the lining, they're facing the opposite direction. So that way we don't have a seam that's flipping back and forth as we're sewing it. I'll be sewing very shortly. I'm just pinning right now.
Okay.
You have to pin. To help what? You want to hand me pins?
Yeah.
Just don't stab me with them. Okay, one pin, thank you.
I'll give you.
Okay, I need one more pin.
Okay. It's got that much pin.
And you give me one of those sharp ones. This was left by one of the quilting ladies who took one of my class. They have these really sharp pins. Okay, so again, I'm at this point, I'm flipping my seams, so one goes up, one goes down. Okay, give me another pin, honey.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
touching the bottom that I'm not poking myself.
Okay, good. We don't want to poke ourselves. I don't want you to poke me either.
Yeah, that's why I'm holding the bottom.
At my side seam.
That's why I'm holding the bottom.
Get one pin over on the underarm, and now I'm on the back.
How's this one?
Yep, give me one more.
Just one more.
Okay, one more. One more. Right here, underneath the arm. And that's the last pin I'm going to do. I just take a quick look at it. Oop.
What?
Yeah, just my reminder at the bottom.